Yo, what's going on? In this episode of the Jay Cartere Show Podcast, I'm going to be talking about crime. I'm going to be trying to basically share my thoughts on the reasons behind a lot of crime. Not all crime, obviously. All crime, like every situation needs to be examined individually. But we're going to get into certain things about, London crime and that sort of stuff. The stuff that I know about. I'm not going to talk about shit that I don't know about. But before that, let's have a lovely word from our sponsors and we'll be right back. This episode of the Jay Cartere Show Podcast is sponsored by me at growonyoutube.com. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel, then growonyoutube.com is the place to go. I just released my new book, A Gamer's Guide to Greatness, which will show you how to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into a business. You can get that at growonyoutube.com/guide. If you want to grow your YouTube gaming channel and turn it into your career, make a full-time living, become a full-time YouTube gamer, actually build a business around it, then this book is for you. If you just want to live off AdSense and become a big YouTuber and be broke, then this book is not for you. It's not for anyone who wants overnight success or anything like that. But go to growonyoutube.com/guide if you think this will be helpful for you. You can see the reviews of happy customers who have purchased the book already and are now using the strategies in there to grow their own YouTube gaming channels. Now, I basically created the book that I wish I would have had when I first started out on YouTube. I've spent a variety of years. I think I started in around 2011 and I did a lot of experiments, a lot of research, a lot of trial and error in order to find out what actually works. So I've distilled all of that and put it into this book, this guide, so you guys can know what works and grow your YouTube gaming channel. I've grown my YouTube gaming channel to over 24,000 subscribers. When this comes out, it'll probably be even more than that. I don't know. It's continually growing. It's always growing and it's going to continue growing because I know what works. I know what works now and I've put that in this book to show you what works. And if you want that, go to growonyoutube.com/guide. Now let's get into the episode. So recently, there's been a lot of reporting on crime in London, a lot of reporting on, deaths and whatnot, stabbings. I think today is April the 3rd. And there was a shooting last night or earlier this morning. I'm not 100% sure exactly when it happened. Shit, is this off? No. Okay, I just had to turn my PS4 controller off because sometimes that creates like some signal in the background which makes it sound really, really terrible. So hopefully that didn't cause any damage to the previous audio. We're just going to keep it going. So basically, there's been a lot more reporting on deaths and crime and all that sort of stuff. I'm not 100% sure if there's actually been a large increase in crime. I haven't done the research into it. I've seen some people's opinions on Twitter. I've seen some statistics shared. There was an article saying that London has a higher murder rate than New York in like ages or something, or it hasn't been like that before. And then I saw a tweet from a gentleman. I think is his name David? I'm not 100% sure. Sorry about that, mate. But he basically made a tweet and provided some evidence to show that the reason that London's murder rate is higher than New York City is because New York's murder rate has actually been steadily decreasing. But if you read the papers, it doesn't, like, they're not going to make it seem like that. They make it seem like, oh, London's getting mad, isn't it? Because it sells more papers, it's more sensationalized, and it's more interesting for people to read than, okay, New York's murder rate is declining, and now London has a higher murder rate than New York. It doesn't really have the same ring to it. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about that sort of stuff like murder rates going up and crime rates going up and all that sort of stuff because I just don't have the statistics or the desire to do the research into it because I don't care. It's terrible if it is going up or, but that is where it is. Like, me caring about it isn't going to change it. I believe there are things that we could actually change that would actually stop people needing to commit crime or committing crime on such a wild level. And honestly, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I believe the root of crime generally is poverty. Now, I'm not saying everyone who commits crime is poor. Of course, there are people who are wealthy who commit crime. The crime committed by insecurities and all that sort of stuff. But the crime we're talking about, people being on the roads, people selling drugs, stabbing, killing, that sort of stuff, generally comes from a place of poverty, I believe. Because if you ain't poor, then you don't really need to be on the road selling drugs. You don't really need to be getting involved in a criminal element like that. But you may kill someone because they did something, they did some BS and you want to get revenge or something. That is 100% possible. But, some people are trying to blame it on music and this and that. And I think, the music people are listening to can be a factor. To be honest, when I was younger and I was listening to people like Blade Brown and Gucci Mane and all these people talking about trapping and selling drugs, made me want to trap and sell drugs. Like, let's be real. But honestly, like, I was already out here. So them saying that was just like my theme music. I don't think if I didn't want to get out there and do, I don't know, I don't want to incriminate myself, but I'm saying if I didn't want to engage in certain activities, I don't believe that listening to music about engaging in those activities would make me go and engage in those activities. I don't think that's the way my mind works, because I think that I'm smarter and more mentally strong than that. But I can't say the same for everyone else. Like, I definitely do not believe that everyone is mentally strong. I don't believe that at all. I think people are really easily manipulated on a general basis, and like people can be really easily influenced. So maybe music is a contributing factor, but I believe poverty is the biggest contributing factor. And I don't think youth clubs will change much. I don't think, going out there and having marches and telling people that this isn't okay will change anything. I don't know why people think that will change anything. That just doesn't seem practical to me. If you really want people to change, then you've got to show them that there's a different path, there's a different way, and you've got to show them that it's possible. But then again, a lot of people are lazy. Like, even if you came to the hood and you was like, yo, everyone, like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to commit crime to make money or whatever. You can go down this path and learn how to do this and make some money, but it's going to take you like 6 to 7 months in order to make your first pound or whatever. It may take you less than that, but let's just give people a realistic amount of expectations. Or you tell them it's going to take, a few years for you to get up and running and be able to pay your bills and that sort of stuff. A lot of people are going to be like, fuck that. Like, I'm hitting the roads. I'm whipping this white bee. We're selling this Mary Jane. Like, a lot of people just aren't patient and don't want to deal with that. But generally, like, smart people are, they commit crime, they get on the roads in order to make enough money to get off the roads and stop committing crime. Like, people who have common sense don't want to commit crime forever because they know your time's gonna run out. Like, you're either gonna get caught or someone's gonna get rid of you, innit? Like, those are the two options. Like, I don't think anyone gets old and lives a long, happy life committing crime for the majority of their life. Like, that's just generally not what happens. There may be some people who die in their sleep and live a life of crime and don't get caught. But generally, living that life is met with a lot of anxiety. It's met with a lot of paranoia, and it's just not worth it. Even if you're making like loads of money, like, I don't think it's worth being scared to spend your money. It's not being worth being, paranoid on the roads, thinking someone's out to get you or someone's going to try to rob your money, or you're not sure what to do with it. Because I don't think everyone who's out here on the road is clued up about, money laundering and all that sort of stuff. Because, if you can't, like, I don't think most people are bothered. I don't think most people are bothered, to be honest, if we're being real. But, higher level people, they're probably getting involved in that sort of stuff. But the thing is, what do I think is the solution to the increase? If there is an increase, I don't even know if there's an increase. I can't even say that like with a straight face and tell you it's a fact. What is the solution to crime and to lower crime is to provide more opportunities. Like, school needs to be better. School's shit right about now. School is terrible. School teaches you to come in and follow orders, and people, especially men, generally don't want to follow orders. The less agreeable and whatnot, and the people who are going to end up on the roads and end up doing criminal activities probably don't want to follow orders via authority, and they probably don't like authority as well. So I don't think that's the best way to reach people. I don't think that's the best way to reach these individuals and whatnot. I think a better way to approach school would be less rigidness, and I think people just need to. You just need to learn more. Like, you need to teach better, more effective things. Like, there's a lot of BS in school, a lot of wasted time. If you taught people how to start businesses and how to create, learn how to get skills and make money and that sort of stuff, and people was earning money through a positive way from young, because they can do it. It's way possible. I wish I had, an iPhone when I was in fucking school to be able to create a whole YouTube channel or Twitter or Instagram and do all that sort of stuff and build a brand when I was in school. I didn't have those opportunities. But if I had those opportunities and the school came with it and it was like, yo, you've got all this power in the palm of your hand, use it, make some cash. Because when you make your first £10, whatever, from doing something positive, you realize that it's possible. Like, a lot of people, they just don't think it's possible. They don't think it's possible, so they don't go down that road. They see, my man around the corner who's been shot in herb for ages and he's making money, so might as well go do that. And, they see a next man's been robbing these places and he's making money, so, that makes sense. But they don't see a lot of actual, positive entrepreneurs. They see the entrepreneurship from the criminal end, which I always think is very, very interesting, to be honest. I'm very, very interested in the entrepreneurship behind crime. But they don't see a lot of the positive influences. That's why I want to do a lot of that in my personal, my future. I want to first become a successful entrepreneur and then show people that it's possible. I want to be able to give back in that regard and show people, this shit is possible. You don't have to go and do that next thing. You can come over here and do this and do something positive and do something you love for a living, and you don't have to be, looking over your shoulder all the time. And if someone does some BS, you can call the cops. You can just call the police. Ain't got no time to be getting years in jail and shit like that, man. That's long. That is super long, B. And like back in the day, I would have considered, stabbing people and doing all sorts of madness for. Right now, when I look at it, it's silliness. It's a pittance. Like, I would have committed egregious crimes like that for under £1,000. Like, bruv, that's poverty. Like, when you're willing to commit, people back in the day, like the price on an M was 1.5. Like, that's $1,500 to pay to get someone, disposed of. Like, that is cheap. That is cheap. In the grand scheme of things, that is cheap. Maybe it's not cheap to you right about now. It's not cheap to me right about now. But in the grand scheme of things, where there are people earning like hundreds of thousands of millions and shit, that's fucking cheap. That life is that's saying life is super cheap. And it's mad. It's mad. If people were more well off, and they had more opportunities and they had more money in the bank and they didn't have to, turn to wild ways to generate income and pay the bills and do all that sort of stuff and buy lubes. And people weren't so insecure that they thought they needed to buy all this shit just to, fit in or whatever. Then I think there would be less crime. I think that's almost a guarantee. I think that's almost a guarantee. Like, the insecurities are a big thing. And also just being broke. Being broke is a big thing because no one wants to be broke. Like, it ain't cool. ain't cool. All the fucking songs are telling you, I don't fuck with broke niggas and shit like this. They're telling you it ain't cool to be broke. Man, them are in songs spending, wild amount of money, like flinging money in strip clubs and doing all this sort of financially illiterate stuff. And then you think you got to be financially illiterate, and now you're buying crepes and you're buying bare clothes that you don't need and all this sort of shit. You ain't buying no investments, and now you're still broke, but you look less broke. And now you still need to go out and force yourself on in some terrible situation so that you can make more money and keep up your lifestyle. And it's just, there just needs to be more financial literacy. But again, some people just don't care. Some people just don't. Some people are lazy, and some people want it quick and they're impatient. So there needs to be better parenting, I guess. I don't know, because my mum, I don't know what I'd rate her parenting on the scale of 1 to 10 for. She was quite lenient with me, which I think was pretty good, because I know other people who had way stricter parents and they turned out way worse because their parents were so strict that when they actually got the freedom to, move away from their parents and do whatever, they went super wild. Now me, I wasn't super wild or anything, but I was able to have a degree of freedom from a young age. So when I got older, there was no need for me to break out and be wild. There was no need for me to rebel against my parents or anything like that. And, my mum didn't teach me about financial literacy. Quite the opposite. That's why I'm financial literate, because I don't want to be like my mum. I don't want to be like my parents, who, to be honest, weren't the best teachers in terms of, starting a business and all that sort of shit. My mum's philosophy was go get a job, go get a good job. That was her philosophy, and I don't believe in that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It comes down to the individual as well. It comes down to the parenting. It comes down to the societal factors, the environment, all that sort of shit. It's a lot of stuff, because peer pressure's a motherfucker. If there was no peer pressure around me, I would have never thought that selling coke could have been cool. But Scarface made it super cool as well. So I don't know. Maybe Scarface definitely did influence me in thinking that selling coke was cool. Now I wouldn't even think about selling coke. I'd be like, no, I'm staying away from that shit, because it's just too expensive in terms of the time you would lose if you got caught with it. Like, I can't be bothered to lose all that time. And I don't know enough about coke to sell it, because, someone could scam me and sell me sugar at this point, because I probably wouldn't want to test it and get addicted to coke or anything like that. But now we're talking about selling drugs. But basically, wouldn't even think about selling drugs if my parents were rich and I was rich. Like, that's I believe that's 100% fact. Although I think there are rich people who do shit like that, but, they're fucking stupid. I really do believe poverty is the biggest cause of crime, the biggest cause of these situations, because, like, you'll have people killing people over £200. It's mad. It's actually mad. It's actually crazy when you look at it from the, bird's eye view, and you've got a little bit of perspective. But when you're in it, that's £200, B. Like, bruv, do you know how much tens you have to shot to make £200 profit? Like, it ain't easy work. Well, it's not too hard, but it's like, it's work, innit? It's work. You put that work in, you lose £200, especially when you're broke, and that's basically all you have to your name. That's your re-up money. You might be willing to do some mad stuff at that point. Like, when your back is up against the wall, when your funds are looking low, you're more willing to do wild stuff, like, assault and attempted murder and all that sort of shit, and armed robbery and all these sorts of crimes with victims, which I don't believe in morally, but I think victimless crimes, do it all you want, bruv. As long as there's no victim, get involved. Do your hustle. Oh, shit, this is on the podcast. No crime. Crime does not pay. Do not commit crime. That is really, really bad. Do not take what I said out of context. That was a joke. I was trying to be hilarious. Yeah. So Don't commit crime. But honestly, if it's a victimless crime, like I don't believe crimes without a victim should be crimes at the end of the day. Like if Johnny from around the way wants to snort a line of coke, who am I to say no, Steve can't sell him coke? Come on. Come on, bruv. That is a private transaction. Why are you getting involved? Like, if he sold him some bad coke, then fair enough. Now there's a victim in the crime because he sold him coke that was laced with rat poison or whatever. That is a victim in the crime. But if Steve has the greatest coke and it's pure and whatnot, and Johnny's out there looking for coke, and Steve is out there and he's like, yo, I got this nice coke, and Johnny's like, yeah, well, that's what I've been looking for, can I have some of that? And then Steve's like, here you go, and they make a transaction. Who are you to get involved and say that's not allowed, bruv? Like, real talk. Unless, you know, Steve's out here and he's being a predator on people who don't already want the coke, and he's like, yo, taste this, this is nice, look, have some of that. And he's trying to turn people into cokeheads, then it becomes morally bad in my eyes. But, you know, if people are just playing the market and giving people what they want, then that's just a free market, B. Like, that's just a free market. I don't believe anyone should stand in the way of people doing what they want, or, you know, harming themselves, as long as they're not harming anyone else. And that's none of your business. It's none of your business. As soon as it turns into something that harms other people and, you know, there's third parties involved, then, okay, yeah, then the law should be getting involved. But, you know, that's my personal opinion. I think, have I done a podcast on drugs on this podcast yet? I don't think I have. We'll probably do one of those eventually. But I think, you know, if you want to solve crime and make their law crime, you know, give more grants to kids or to parents or something. I don't know. Put more money in lower income societies, lower income areas. Put more money in there. Give people more opportunity to make more money. Give them more education to learn how to make more money a legit way, instead of having to go out there on the roads and doing whatnot. But there are also people on the roads who aren't in it for the money. There are people who are legitimately mentally ill and need fucking psychological help because they just want... Some of them want stripes. They want the name. They want people to fear them because it's insecurity again. They want people to know their name. They want to be infamous and that sort of stuff. And some people just like to kill people and commit, give people pain and serve misery and all that sort of stuff. Some people just love that. Like that's how some people get off. And it's sad and it's terrible, but, you know, that's the way it is. But I think majority of people... I don't even know. I haven't done a poll or anything on this, but I think if there was more money moving around and people were less financially illiterate and they knew more shit and they had more opportunities placed in front of them that they knew was possible and they could see examples of it working around them, then I think there would be less crime and more positivity. And, you know, I think you're seeing this with like people becoming rappers and stuff like that, because the rap scene and the grime scene and all that sort of stuff is prospering to a certain extent, and people can see that it's possible. And, you know, a majority, let me not say a majority, but some of those people who are now making music and trying to take that path, they may have been committing crime. They may have been committing crime if this wasn't an option for them. So, you know, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I think overhauling the education system will do a lot in terms of getting people up to speed with what can be done these days. Education is so outdated, although I haven't been to a school in ages, so I don't know if they're teaching social media classes and digital marketing, but they really should be. And the thing is, like, it's so outdated with the internet these days, with the iPhones, the smartphones that everyone has. There's so much opportunity out here. There's so much opportunity. But, you know, a lot of people, they just want to stunt online instead of taking the opportunity there. And again, it's like, even if the education's there, even if people know about opportunities, you can't guarantee that anyone's going to take them. But I think it's still important to put them there. It's still important, because even all the free information I give, like, people will watch the videos and then don't act on it. Like, a lot of people, they'll just take it and not do anything. Like, people are lazy. Let's just be real. A lot of people are lazy. They can't be bothered to put the work in. They can't be bothered to be patient. They can't be bothered to put the work in for 5 years to watch it pay off. Like, a small amount of people can be bothered to do that. Because it's long and it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice to not watch your favorite shows when they come out. Except for Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones got to be watched as soon as that release. But, you know, other shows that you may be enjoying, like The Walking Dead and Supernatural, which I'm like 2 seasons behind on. Like, good shows that I'd really like to enjoy. Sometimes you don't watch them because you got other responsibilities and you got shit to do. And now I feel like I'm rambling, so I feel like I'm just going to wrap it up. Let me know what you guys think is the biggest cause of crime. I think the biggest cause of crime is poverty and insecurity. I think those are very, very high contributing factors to someone committing crime. I think generally behind the crime, there's some insecurity behind it. And I think poverty is a very large contributing factor overall in like the inner cities and in lower income based crime. So, you know, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comment section on YouTube. By the way, moved over my podcast. I think I'm going to edit the intro, so maybe I don't have to tell you guys here. But don't use Podbean, they're shit, yeah? Don't use Podbean if you're going to do a podcast. They are shite. They're absolutely whack. Don't deal with them. So, yeah, thanks for listening. I will talk to you guys in the next podcast. Peace out. Remember, Gamer's Guide to Greatness out now. If you want to purchase the book, support the podcast, support the channel, all that sort of stuff, go and grab that. Go on youtube.com/guide if you want to learn about an opportunity where you can do something that you enjoy, like playing games, and turn it into a career for yourself, then that book is for you. That's the type of education I wish was in schools when I was younger. And that's the type of education I think needs to be in schools. Like, people need to have a path to where, you know, where they can do things that they enjoy and make money from it, instead of being told, yo, okay, you learn all this boring shit and now you go get a boring job that you don't enjoy so that you can survive, so that, you know, at the end of the day, you retire and live on a fixed income and hope that people take care of you. Like, that's dead. That's so dead. That's so, you can't guarantee that even your job's gonna keep you there for a wild amount of time. Like, technology might take over your job. You might be out of business. Next man might take your job. Like, anything can happen. Like, building security is really building on your own skills and learning how to build your own thing. I think that's so necessary. Even if you want to get a 9-to-5 job, I think you should still have like some sort of side hustle that brings you income on a regular, not even on a regular basis, but brings you income in general, something that you're actually working towards, that you own, that you control. I think that's so important, and I really want to get that in the minds of more people and help people understand that. And I think that should be the new normal. That should be the new normal. Everyone having their own side hustle, everyone trying to, you know, work on something that's theirs, that they own, that can give them more security in the long term. I think that should be the new normal, instead of trying to turn everyone into factory workers, because, you know, some people don't want to be factory workers, and then they come out and they turn into murderers. So I shouldn't be laughing at murderers. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next episode. I wasn't laughing at murderers. I was just, I don't know, that was nervous laugh or something. So don't roast me on Twitter for laughing at murderers. Murder is bad. I wish everyone who got murdered in London over anyone who got murdered probably shouldn't have been murdered. I wish them heaven or something. I don't really believe in heaven, but I'm not going to do prayers and all that sort of shit because there's no point. But I would have preferred if they didn't get murdered, and the people who murdered them would have preferred if they didn't get to that murderous stage and they got some mental help. That may have prevented the murders, maybe it doesn't, but, you know, life is a wild thing, it's a wild ride, and the world is a terrible place. The world is a terrible place. You got to make the best out of it. So good luck, guys. Hope you don't get murdered. Hope you stay safe. Look over your shoulders. You might have to get paranoid even if you hate a road, man. Keep 999 on speed dial. Get ready to call that up. Get ready to run. Get some pepper spray going, you know, that sort of shit. Protect yourself. No more murders around here, cuz. All right, peace out. That's enough. We're going to go for like 40 minutes if I keep on going. Bye. If you want to learn how I got over 23,000 subscribers and millions of views on my YouTube gaming channel, then you are in luck. Sign up to this free course right now. Link will be in the card, in the description, and in the pinned comment. Or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. In this course, you will learn the best way to write your video titles, tags, and descriptions to help you rank on the first page of YouTube. It's simple when you know what to do. I'll also show you a hack that will help you choose the right key phrases and help you create videos that can rank and get views no matter what game you play. Stop struggling to grow your YouTube gaming channel and start doing what works. Click on the link in the description or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. This course will not be up forever, so get in there as soon as possible. I hope to see you here soon, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey of turning your passion into your career.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long.